If you've been around gaming this year, you know of Apex Legends. You know of its historic rise, where it nearly rivaled Fortnite, not only in the search algorithms, but in the player base as well. However, over the course of this last season and the last 2 months, Fortnite's strategy of consistent updates and new events have kept it relevant, and new releases have sort of taken away some of the limelight of what Apex Legends had over most of the community, which was the darling, the Battle Royale done right for the first time ever. Fast, AAA, exciting abilities, and it had added something new to the gaming industry that was very stale for a very long time. However, Season 3 is around the corner, and in order to continue traveling this road maybe less traveled by than most other games, it needs to do a few things. And also, if you enjoy the videos, guys, before we get into it, make sure to leave a like on this one and let me know what you think about it in the comments section below before you head out. Alright, let's get started here with number 1, Legend Balance and New Legend Hype. Now, we talked a little bit about this yesterday with the Pathfinder and Solos rant, and I think that in Solos, it's a very specific issue. In most Apex Legends games, you have enough of a balance between legends to where you could pretty much run any composition and be okay. But the new legend also needs to bring that level of hype and be relevant into the meta, which is going to be a difficult task. But I think Respawn can do it. They did it very well with Wattson. Their track record proves that they're able to introduce new weapons, new legends, and things like that, and keep them relevant in a way that isn't too broken, but is also fun and interesting. And that is what they need for Season 3. Everyone needs to look at Apex Legends' new legend and be like, damn, I gotta play that guy or that girl or that bird. I don't know what the hell they're gonna bring in here, but they gotta bring something where people go, yes, give me that, let me re-download that thing, looks amazing, I gotta try that ability. Also, you may need to reconsider whether all the legends are in the right balance state or not. They have the numbers, we don't. Last time we checked, Gibraltar and Caustic were very losing, and Wraith, Lifeline, Pathfinder were more on the winning side of things and the play rate side of things. We want to make sure there's enough parity for all of those legends so that everyone can play their favorite legend and feel really good about it. You want to be attracted to a certain type of character and not feel bad or feel like you're losing more often when you play that character just because that's the type that you're into, whether it's defensive, offensive, tactical, or support. Number 2, we need a new weapon, a new legendary weapon, and slight buffs to G7 and Muzzle Flash. So first of all, we need a new weapon. We have not had a new weapon in the Apex Legends actual just base weapon inventory since launch. It's been 6 months of the exact same weapons, and I think that a game like this has the ability once, twice a year to add a new weapon or take a weapon out, or you know what I mean? I think Fortnite does it in a right way where they take a weapon out, they put a weapon in, they hold it around, they bring it back, and it creates this kind of interesting dynamic of balance and always something new to talk about and get used to again that I feel is very good and very minimal as far as balance, but also very good as far as, you know, conversation and player traffic, because they're like, oh, they brought the pump shotgun back in. Okay, cool. Well, they took the flatline out. They buffed it a little bit. They brought it back in. Those are things that I think will help the game tremendously, and in general, we just need one more weapon at least in Season 3. Gotta happen. Legendary weapons as well. We need one more legendary weapon because the L-Star was a bit of a flop. Although some people use it, some people have found value, it's just generally not been considered a good addition to the legendary weapon category, especially when you compare it to the dominance of the Kraber and the Mastiff, the huge, incredible one-shot sniper, and of course the shotgun that's just gonna, you know, take out you and your whole, you know, family history with one shot if you get up close. That thing is nuts. So we need those two things to happen for sure. We also need buffs to weapons that have not gotten buffs or any adjustment essentially since launch as well, and that's pretty much the G7 Scout. Most other weapons have been adjusted in some major way to make them say, oh, this is the weapon to play now. Oh, this is actually good. The G7 Scout has stayed essentially the same, and it needs a little bit of a buff, whether it's bullet speed, whether it's a little bit more damage, whether it's just something that makes you say, oh yeah, G7 is good now. The other thing they need to adjust is the muzzle flash. If you haven't noticed this when you've played Apex Legends, your muzzle flash of your weapons is like takes up all of your screen sometimes when you're hip firing. It's literally to the point where I look at my own replays of my games and say, how did I not kill that person? And then I look back and I say, I can't even see them. I don't even know where I'm aiming. The muzzle flash is so bad. They need to reduce that. I know they're maybe trying to be realistic or something, but that has to get fixed to where it's not obscuring the game. You never want realism to obscure you in a way that is unfun in your game. Realism is used for a purpose, not to make it so real that you're like, okay, now I can't sprint because I'm literally tired and I haven't eaten a sandwich. I gotta go eat a sandwich in my game and then start running again. You know, this isn't Skyrim. We're okay with just being able to see our bullets and see our weapons and get a little bit of flair. Number 3, community reparations and new skins could be a bit of a good move, but not necessary. Now, if you've been around Apex lately, you've probably heard of this drama. There was $200 as far as cosmetics to purchase for this new event, which when you talk about a 2-week new event costing $200, yeah, that's a lot in comparison to, well, should I spend $200 on, you know, feeding my family this week with groceries? Sure. I mean, I had a guy literally on Twitter say, how am I supposed to tell my daughter that I can't buy her a Barbie or food? And I bought Apex Legends cosmetics. People go to these crazy lengths. The way I would respond to that, which I didn't, is that, dude, don't buy the Apex Legends cosmetics, buy your daughter food. You know, it's not that big of a deal. You don't have to buy the cosmetics, you have to buy your daughter food. But people treated it like it was something they had to buy and were very upset with the prices. And honestly, I can see both sides. I understand why people are upset because you want the skins in the game you like. I can also see why Apex Legends, you know, didn't really care about the price because of the fact that, listen, we're a free-to-play game and you don't have to buy these. These are totally optional. We're not charging anything for the game. We're not charging anything to make you better at the game. This is purely a dress-up. This is your dressing up. And I've seen Vis, I've seen Shroud, they've all had the same reaction as far as asked this question. Now, the problem is, the developers went online and they were really rude to the community, and then the community was really rude back, and that was unacceptable on both sides. So I will say that this has caused a lot of tension between the development and the community, and I think some reparations for this would be something that would go a long way as far as getting the community and everyone just feeling good again. Whether it's a free skin, whether it's a free pack for the next event, whether it's Season 3 and it's just a very cheap event that a lot of people can buy quickly for $30 and get all of it, you know what I mean? Not trying to go crazy, but they can get all of it, feel like they got a lot of value for not a lot of money. I think the launch of Season 3 and the new Battle Pass and things like that would be very, very, beneficial to both parties if they were just accessible to a lot of people. So yes, I think that would be a big part of Season 3 because in order to get a game really going in the right direction again, you need a strong community. You need people loving your game. You need people talking about it and showing that, wow, when I get into Apex Legends, there's a great group of people ready to welcome me, to talk about the game, to be interested in the game, to make sure that I feel like I'm in something that's alive. And when you have a kind of a strained community developer relationship, that's hard to do. So I think a little bit of a reparation, a little freebie, something like that, a little event that would really help on Season 3's launch, that would go a long way in getting that good vibe back again, because the last thing you want is Season 3, hey, everybody come on, check out our game, we got this great thing going on, and then, you know, they get on Reddit or they play and everyone's like, man, screw this company, charging us for crazy skins again, I hate these guys, you know, I'm never playing this game again. Like, you don't want that around Season 3, so something's gotta happen so that this actually, you know, launches in a big way. Now, on to number 4, which is the biggest one. It's the biggest one, okay? And I'm gonna go in depth on this as well. So if you're here in the video still, you gotta listen to this one because this is truly where I get very specific on what needs to happen. We need constant updates and teases towards new updates. They have to take the FORTNITE approach. Now, let me tell you this. I almost read the poem The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, one of my favorite poems ever from a great American poet. The reason I almost read it at the start of this video is because Apex Legends decided to take the road less traveled by. They went with, we're going to surprise launch, we're not going to tease everything. We're going to do silent and quick, and you don't know when they're coming updates, and they're going to be awesome, but you're never going to know until they happen. We're going to leave the community in wonderment. And that did work for a while, but inevitably, you just keep plugging away in this free-to-play environment with a new thing, a new update, a new balance thing, and players talk, they play, they get into it, they get attached. If your game is good, you will hook them back in, and the game that is silently but slowly working on stuff started to lose a little bit of momentum, and when you lose that momentum, you know, then it's hard to get it back, and we need to do something to where when Season 3 happens, we keep the momentum for this game, and that is why I think the FORTNITE approach is something Apex Legends need to try. I know they it worked before, but I think the way they are now, without that surprise factor anymore, they've got to be more constant with their updates, with their communication, and talking about what's next. And here's what they need to do. 1. At the start of Season 3, we need a map adjustment just like we had in Season 2. That was amazing, by the way. One of my favorite things that happened, the gauntlet not only in solos, but also the change to the cage, the destruction of bridges, the introduction of flyers and leviathans. That was awesome, and everyone who ever plays any video games can say that was definitely awesome. We need more of that at the start of Season 3, and hopefully it's an evolving story, so where the flyers leave, or the leviathans have moved again, or there's some other thing they destroyed and a new thing got up. Whatever it is, all that needs to happen. We need a new legend as well. That needs to launch, of course, and we know and we think that it's going to be Crypto. He's the one who seems to have brought down Repulsor with his hacking. He's got to be great, and he's got to come in. We need 2 new weapons, like I mentioned, a weapon in a base kind of level, you can find it when you drop, and a weapon from a legendary drop as well. And we need new skins at launch with a new battle pass, and we need a ranked reset. So we need the new skins with a little bit of reparations, a little bit of good value for people who feel like they got gypped in this last one, just to get that community goodwill towards everybody again. And we need a ranked reset, so really good players who already have 1200, 1500 RP in our Apex Predators have a reason to grind up again, earn new rewards, and just go through that really fun phase of when everyone was playing this game to try to watch, to earn, to master these aspects of the game, and new things for them to master as well. Oh, but I ain't done. Then midway, maybe about 3 to 4 weeks after that, right? That's a while, but that's enough to where you start feeling like, okay, I've kind of gotten into this game again in a big way. I want the next thing. You have a huge esports event. Now, there is something in Poland coming in September, but I don't think Season 3 will be launching in the next week or two, so it's a little bit off the mark. But we need something big, whether it's a big online tournament, a big LAN tournament again. Maybe they'll announce the next one in Poland, but that needs to happen to get some engagement from the high-level players. The FORTNITE World Cup kept a lot of pros on Twitch and a lot of really high-level streamers playing Fortnite just because they were interested and the hype was around the FORTNITE World Cup. Apex Legends needs something similar. Then, in the third part of that Season 3, so say let's split them in the quarters. Quarter 1, it's the start. Quarter 2, big esports event. Quarter 3, you need a duos event. Solos was awesome, and duos is now another thing that people have wanted that would change things up again. Use this a way to get people back in who have maybe fallen off after that esports event or the novelty of the new part of the season to go back and say, dang, duos, I gotta see what that's like. I love duos. I got a buddy. Get the streamer teams kind of, grouping up and playing, and again, do another tournament around the duos event like you did for solos. Keep people engaged and get them interested in the awesome aspects of Apex Legends once they play this solo or this duo event and say, wow, wait, this game is really awesome. Let's go back to this. That is the way to do it. And then obviously in 404, you not only tease heavily what's coming up in Season 4, but you show off something and maybe even release another map change leading up to it. Now that's a lot. I know it is, but this is what I feel like would really engage a lot of people. You have your high-level pros being engaged, you have your casuals being engaged from new weapons, new legends, new map changes, and then you have people who maybe played Apex but got interested in another thing or had a specific thing they didn't really like about it, going back to the novelty of trying the new mode, re-downloading it. I'll tell you what, solos was the thing that made my cousins and people who are super casual gamers be like, oh dang, solos, I always wanted to play that. Let me re-download Apex on my Xbox or my PS4. That's how they were thinking of that game, and I think that if we have duos and squads, that will get a lot of people coming back in. And finally, number 5, the mobile promises need to be kept. If you are in a public place right now, look around. How many people do you see? And how many of them are on their phone? Are you on your phone? Do you have your phone in your pocket? Did you just check it a few seconds ago? Are you looking at it while you're listening to this video? For all of you who have said yes to any of those things, that's why Apex Legends needs to be on mobile, because mobile is where we all are all the time. How do you keep things on people's attention when they have such little attention spans in general? You make sure that they have it in front of them all the time. Games like Underlords, games like PUBG, games like Fortnite that have made it to mobile have obviously garnered the biggest fan bases and player bases in Battle Royales because they are accessible all the time. When you get into it, you can always stay into it, and that way nothing else can grip your attention and truly pull you away. That's how gaming works. You get into a game, then you get into another one, and when that that game loses you, they lose your money, they lose your time, your attention, and all the things that go with it, and unfortunately that really hurts the game. But not only that are we missing out on mobile, guys, we're missing out on the biggest mobile gaming audiences in the world, in Japan, in China, where mobile gaming is truly where they all game. PC gaming is more limited. They don't game at home. If there's anything, they go to PC cafes and they game there. But a lot of the gaming that happens is mobile. The biggest games in the world in China are actual mobile games, and that is where Apex Legends needs to hit. If they can find a way to actually implement that in Season 3, things will change for the better, and it will be not only the road less traveled by, it'll be the road that everyone wants to travel by, because this game will blow up to the place that it deserves, because I truly believe it is the best Battle Royale in the business right now. So what do you think about Apex Legends Season 3? Did you think of something that I should have added in this video that I didn't? Go ahead and comment down below. Do you agree with my ideas, or do you disagree heavily? What do you disagree about? And let me know in the comments as well. And also, like the video and subscribe to stay tuned for more stuff here at Rainday Gaming. As always, my friends, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.